10 p.m. in Banjul, and from our studios on MDI Road, this is the news. First, the headlines. Gambian pilgrims perform the final rites of the Hajj, as Hajj authorities say they have finally located many of the pilgrims who went missing in the aftermath of the mass stampede in Mina Valley. Gambia Tourism Board and Expedia, a leading Spanish travel agency, map out new strategies meant to inject greater urgency in the drive to expanding the country's lucrative tourism industry. Catalonia inches closer to separation from mainland Spain as voters in the region prepare to go to the polls for a crucial vote in local government elections. And Joseph Sept wrestles with new allegations of criminal mismanagement of funds as the long-serving FIFA boss struggles to clear his name in the corruption scandal engulfing World Football Governing Body, FIFA. Well, these and other stories coming ahead this half hour. I am WINIFRED NICOL. Thanks for joining us once again. Gambian pilgrims are performing the final rites of this year's Hajj. According to Hajj authorities, the first flight of pilgrims are expected to leave the Holy Lands Sunday, the 27th of September. Ajaratu Mama J is in the Holy City and she files in this news update.
Gambian pilgrims have successfully completed their pilgrimage in Mecca after performing Tawaful Ifada, one of the three main pillars of the Hajj. They've carried out these functions by going round the Holy Kaaba 7 times and prayed 2 rakas at Mahama Ibrahima. The pilgrims have also performed the 4th and last pillar of the Hajj, walking and running slowly 7 times between Mount Safa and Marwa. They also did their farewell tawaf or tawaful wida to seek Allah's permission to return home safely to their families, and as well pray to make several visits to the Holy Kaaba and other places in Mecca and Medina. In another development, officials said they have found most of the Gambian pilgrims who went missing during the recent stampede in Mecca and Mina. According to the Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology and member of the Hajj Commission, Dr. Abubakar Senghor, the pilgrims have already joined their colleagues in the hotels in Mecca, waiting for their departure to Banjul. However, officials have also confirmed that the first Hajj flight, which was scheduled for Banjul on Saturday, has been delayed until Sunday night, September the 27th. Mama J, Grts, Makatul Mukarama in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
The Feast of Tobaski often provides celebrants the chance to visit families, particularly those from upcountry and elsewhere. For many fisher folks, this means leaving their fishing vessels sitting on shore. The resulting effect is a shortage of fish stock in the market. Rohibite visited one of the country's major selling points and the coastal village of Tangi in the Kombo South district.
Gambians join the rest of the world to mark the Feast of Sacrifice. During these major celebrations, many, if not all households, have meeting for special meals. Few choose fish and few products, but days after these celebrations, the contrast becomes striking as the scarcity of fish in one of the country's major market and selling points brings into sharp focus the importance of this valuable and sound commodity. The low stock in the market is attributed to the fact that many of the fishermen are non-Gambians, most of whom usually travel back home to celebrate with their families. However, the impact they always left behind is usually felt. Here at Sarakunda Market's fish selling point, there is no major activity. For many that usually visit this market, this is an area that is known for its intense activity. But today, the scene is different. Only a few are selling fish, most of which was frozen days before the Tobaski. For Kumba Conte, the scarcity of fish left her with no choice but to sell pepper, which she said was finished by the time we arrived. Asked why she is still at the market, she said she is waiting to see if she can lay her hands on another good to sell. When fish is in the market, it does not only benefit the sellers and buyers, but also these people who engage in the grinding of fish. For their part, too, there wasn't much activity. A visit at Tanje fish landing site explained the facts attributed to the scarcity of fish in the market. Here, almost all fishing boats are on shore. Even this empty boat trying to get off sea is finding it difficult. This normally used to be a busy area, but today there is no sight of a fish. Boat Captain Alajubaro told me that his vessel has spent 5 days at sea, but no vehicle or manpower to help him take it offshore. It is today, he said, he was able to hire these men to provide a helping hand to take his boat off sea. For Mr. Jack, the situation will only go back to normal after a week or two. According to him, a few boats will be going back at sea in the coming days. But even at that, it wouldn't be enough for the demand, as some foreign and native fishermen are yet to return. It is at moments as such when fish are scarce at our markets. The factor is the lack of Gambian fishermen here at sea. And a visit here at Tanje has unveiled the problem of fishermen, most of whom are known to be Senegalese. At moments as such, they normally travel for their Tubaski fish in their countries. Here at our seasides, you could see that there is virtually no activity around. All boats are parked, and even the some that are at sea are finding it difficult even to reach the landing sites. Most women that are normally engaged into the selling of fish here are nowhere to be found. This is all attributed to the main factor, which is lack of Gambian fishermen. Even though the government has set up interventions as YAFI, promoting Gambian youths to venture into fishing, but still the gap could be seen in almost every sector, which is affecting not only the seaside but also our markets. Rahibisei reporting for GRTS News.
A Turkish humanitarian organization in partnership with Munazamat Dawa al-Islamiyya, an international charitable organization based in the Gambia, on Saturday distributed 70 bulls among needy Muslims in the Gambia as part of festivities marking Eid al-Adha. Janke Toure has details of that story in this news report.
In observance of the Muslim feast of Eid al-Adha or Tobaski, Turkish delegates, in partnership with Munazamat al-Dawa al-Islamiyya, an international charitable organization based in the Gambia, on Saturday distributed 70 bulls among needy Muslims as part of celebrations marking the Feast of Sacrifice. Among the 70 bulls, 10 were slaughtered at Sheikh Hamdan Senior Secondary School for girls, and the rest is expected to be distributed in other parts of the country. The principal of Sheikh Hamdan Senior Secondary School for Girls, Keba El Jain, said the organization chose the Gambia for this massive distribution due to the peace and tranquility that prevails in the country.
Gambia is a country that is well known in the world as a peaceful, peace-loving country. And because of that, Munazama has come to establish in the Gambia here as regional office for the sub-region, including Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, Mauritania, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. Gambia is the head office. So the Turkish, our friends in Turkey, they are also good friends of the Gambia as well as Munazama Dawa al-Islamiyya. They have come to the Gambia to slaughter 70 bulls for needy Gambian Muslims. And Sheikh Hamdan Senior Secondary School is one of the ground that we are going to present 10 bulls for needy Gambian Muslims.
Mahmoud Bojak is the head of the mission from Turkey. He explained that the foundation started operating in 1993, and since they have donated 100 countries, both Muslim and non-Muslim countries. Being the first time of embarking on such a donation to the needy Muslims in the Gambia, the Turkish delegates assure Gambians that the charity are ready to partner with Gambians, and as such, efforts will be made to make this an annual event. Janke Toure, GRTS News. Expedia, one of Spain's leading travel agencies, recently held a brief discussion with stakeholders in the Gambia's tourism industry. The interface was meant to build partnership
to revolutionize travel in the Gambia through the power of technology. Mudu Pajan has more.
Officials from Expedia Lodging Partner Services, one of Spain's leading travel agencies, Friday held a momentary workshop with the movers and shakers of the Gambia's tourism sector. The discussion, which was graced by officials of the Gambia Tourism Board, hotel owners and tour operators among others, seeks to beef up and benefit tourism in the country in many ways.
I have the pleasure of welcoming Rosa Lopez and Rodrigo Martin of Expedia, who will share their knowledge about Expedia and how different hotels and guest houses and lodges can work together with Expedia to increase their occupancies. Bed banks, as they are called, have become a new player in the market, not only in Gambia but in the rest of the world, and therefore we are very happy that they are here to share their knowledge with us so that we can work hand in hand for the betterment of Destination Gambia.
The package path in Expedia is what really makes us different. For us of today, usually customers that wanted to book a package to Gambia, they were restricted to tour operator packages, leaving on Mondays and coming back on Fridays, for example, so they couldn't really tailor-make the package as they wished. Now with Expedia, they have the possibility to really decide on which flight they want to book, on which day, which hotel they want to add, which room type, which meal plan. So it's really tailor-made, and this is going to increase the amount of customers coming here.
Gambia Tourism Board and the Ministry of Tourism and Culture have been on their toes to fast-track the transformation of the country's seasonal tourism to a whole year-round industry.
Their presence in the destination is that they don't rely on charter flights like the tour operators. They could be all year round. They can book any time of the year, as long as I said, there is a possibility of flying. A client can go in, book his own package, create his package and book it. So there's no high season, low season or green season. It's all year round. It's not targeting one market only.
As stated by Expedia's officials, partnering with government and stakeholders may well be a vehicle for realizing that dream of receiving 500,000 tourists in the next 5 years, as envisaged in the sector's Vision 2020 objectives. Given the Gambia government's aspiration of reaching 500,000 arrivals by the year 2020, how are you going to be effective in that pursuit?
Definitely, we want to help the country reach this target with our marketing tools. We usually do frequent marketing campaigns. All our platforms, all our brands are going to bring traffic to Gambia. So we hope that this will increase also the number of tourists and arrivals to this country so we can contribute to this internal target.
To this end, officials said the agency is ready to dispatch a team of committed individuals into the country. They pledge to bring new customers, even from far afield as China, so as to help diversify the tourism market.
We have just signed a contract to develop our Go Gambia website. We want to have a booking engine on our website. We also want to generate as much traffic as is possible. But currently we have some challenges. And the challenges include the merchant banking facility, which currently does not exist in the Gambia. Our option now is to use third-party booking engines, and probably something like you're doing. I want to know how we can partner with you, and if we do partner, what's the advantage we have for doing so.
In a sector underpinned by stiff competition, the attendees were also tipped with a few tricks on how to lure customers from rivals following a brief question and answer session.
Packages very interesting for you because they used to stay longer and they don't have cancellations because they are part of a flight and most of the flights are non-refundable. So why don't you create a promotions just for the package rates and just for the Spanish market, that if stay 4 nights, save 10%.
As this year's first flight of tourists arrived earlier than usual, expectations of a booming 2015-2016 tourist season with such interventions are even higher ahead of what already looks like an exciting tourist season.
Expedia is like a bed bank. Okay, Expedia is 20 years old, it's not new in the market. It's not really like tour operators, the traditional tour operators. This is a way where a client can go online, book your hotel, book your taxi transfer, book your flight, and make your package all together. So you will see that Expedia is a leader in this market, and they're growing in the Gambia.
Modu Bajan reporting for GRTS News.
We will be back with news from outside the Gambia after this break. Welcome back. You may have heard of the Millennium Development Goals. They are a series of targets that the United Nations adopted 15 years ago. Well, now world leaders, including German Chancellor Angela Merkel, has given themselves a fresh set of aims. These Sustainable Development Goals, they include ending extreme poverty completely over the next 15 years. And speaking to UN General Assembly on Friday, Merkel said achieving these targets was possible, but she also said the root causes of conflict have to be addressed.
UN's new goals include an increased focus on clean energy and stronger environmental protections, greater income equality, access to jobs, and more equality for women overall. In her speech, German Chancellor Angela Merkel stressed the need to tackle the sources of despair that have led to the current migration crisis engulfing much of Europe. Anyone who witnesses the suffering of those who've left their homes to seek protection and a future elsewhere, and who is aware of the challenge facing those countries that take them in, knows that in the end there can only be one solution. We must tackle the causes of flight.
Wir müssen den Ursachen von Flucht und Vertreibung entgegenwirken.
And to help meet the new goals, Merkel vowed to nearly double her government's support for developing nations. Germany is committed to setting 0.7% of our gross domestic product aside for development aid. Some of the Sustainable Development Goals mirror previous UN aspirations, but there are also some new topics in the mix. They include reducing consumption, taking action on climate change, and protecting water.
Sunday could be a decisive day in Spanish history. Catalans are going to vote in local elections, and opinion polls are suggesting that separatist parties are likely to win. Both parties say if they win, they are going to hold binding referendum on leaving Spain. We have this report by DWTV from a Catalan town determined to go its own way.
The sleepy town of Sept de Torelló is close to the Pyrenees Mountains in northeastern Catalonia. The separatist flag flies over the town that declared independence from the central government in Madrid in 2012. The town's mayor says weak ties to the capital are part of the reason why most people here want to break away from Spain. The Spanish state is not present in Sept de Torelló. There aren't even members of the national police force. We do not feel their presence here. There is an effective disconnect between the people here and the rest of Spain. The Gonfalves family have lived here for generations, including when fascist forces suppressed the Republican movement in Catalonia in the 1930s. They do not trust the central government. If it wasn't for Madrid's constant propaganda against us, I would say we would undoubtedly win. Right now, I am not so sure, because they have bombarded us with threats these past days. But I think we will win. Madrid says breaking away would be illegal and that Catalans would lose the benefits of Spanish nationality. But if polls are correct, the Spanish government will be facing another challenge to its hold on the region.
Authorities in Saudi Arabia have launched an investigation into the mass stampede that left hundreds of people dead. Authorities there have come under mounting criticism for failing to prevent the accident. And after days of uncertainty in Burkina Faso, things are slowly returning back to normalcy. Last week, coup leaders had their assets frozen. We have more on those stories and others in this news report.
In Saudi Arabia, tens of thousands of Muslims are continuing with the stoning ritual of the devil at this year's Hajj, which ends later today. This as authorities are investigating the mass panic at the pilgrimage that killed at least 769 people on Thursday. Saudi officials have been strongly criticized for failing to prevent the tragedy. Demonstrators in northern Mexico have held a vigil to commemorate 43 missing students who disappeared exactly 1 year ago and were most likely murdered. The case has provoked widespread anger in Mexico amid suspicion that government authorities were involved in the disappearance. And Burkina Faso has moved to freeze the assets of army members behind a failed coup that was staged earlier this month. General Gilbert Diender led the coup but was forced to step down after just a week. The country is due to hold elections in October after decades of one-person rule.
We take our second break now. Sports is next. Welcome back. FIFA is facing more legal troubles, and for the first time in the ongoing corruption scandal at the World Football Governing Body, the authorities are pointing finger at Sepp Blatter, the organization's president. Swiss prosecutors want a criminal investigation into Blatter. They suspect him of criminal misappropriation of funds. They interrogated him on Friday and searched his office. Blatter denies any wrongdoing. We have details in this news report.
Swiss prosecutors are hot on the heels of Sepp Blatter, seen here leaving the FIFA headquarters in Zurich on Friday night. Blatter is being investigated over a TV rights deal he signed with the Caribbean Football Union in 2005. He's suspected of selling the broadcast rights to 2 World Cups well below their market value. He's also accused of making what investigators call a disloyal payment of 2 million Swiss francs. And the recipient of that payment was one of the men tipped to replace Blatter, European football chief Michel Platini. He's also been asked to provide information to authorities. Blatter has already announced that he'll stand down as FIFA president. His 17-year reign is due to come to an end in February. But the latest allegations involving Blatter and Platini threaten to deal another blow to football's embattled governing body.
And now to athletics. The world's best long-distance runners are in Berlin ahead of Sunday's marathon. Some 40,000 amateurs will also take part in one of the world's largest and most popular road races. Conditions are expected to be perfect. We have more in this report.
Berlin is considered the fastest marathon course on the planet. The world record has been broken here a total of 7 times. And 3 times in the last 4 years. The top 3 favorites know that everyone is expecting another world record on Sunday.
Yeah, everybody are talking about the world record, but you know what will determine is when the start of the race now, how your body will respond and how the pace will be. That is now, you can say now, let me try to see if I can tackle the world record.
Emmanuel Mutai finished second last year. His biggest challenger could be his training partner Eliud Kipchoge or Jeffrey Mutai, the 2012 champion. All 3 are familiar with the Berlin route, a stretch that attracts the largest viewing public for a marathon in the world.
The crowd in Berlin is fantastic. I think the crowd will contribute to a big percentage to our success on Sunday.
To set a new world record, the runners will have to beat 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 57 seconds. But the vast majority of people taking part will be happy just to cross the finishing line.
And before we take leave of you, a recap of the day's main stories. Gambian pilgrims have performed the final rites of the Hajj. As Hajj authorities say, they have finally located many of the pilgrims who went missing in the aftermath of the mass stampede in Mina Valley. Gambia Tourism Board and Expedia, a leading Spanish travel agency, have mapped out new strategies meant to inject greater urgency in the drive to expanding the country's lucrative tourism industry. Catalonia is inching closer to separation from mainland Spain. as voters in the region prepare to go to the polls for a crucial vote in local government elections. And Joseph Sept is wrestling with new allegations of criminal mismanagement of funds, as the long-serving FIFA boss struggles to clear his name in the corruption scandal engulfing World Football governing body FIFA. Well, that was all in this edition of the News at 10. From me, WINIFRED, NICOL, and the entire news team, thanks for being there. Enjoy the rest of our programs.